to draw some conclusions. We had to read this story called A Big Beast and answer some questions about it. Okay, Boo, can you read from We're Here to Car?
We're here, Mom said as we parked the car. Looking out the window, Evan saw a young man waving from the porch. He wore an old baseball cap, a shirt that said Ireland,
An
an
old
old pair
pair.
of cowboy boots. He does look like Mom, even.
Evan.
Evan thought. thought. He closed the book he'd been reading, Cowboys and Horses on the Open Ranch. Then he popped the handle up, stepped out of the car.
Great. Nancy, can you take over?
Evan's mom gave the man a warm hug. I'm so glad that to finally see you in person again, she said. Chatting over the internet just isn't the same. The photos of the school and island look amazing. You always were good at building things. She turned back to Evan. Say hi to your Uncle Carl. Wow, Evan, the man said. The last time I saw you, you were about this big. He held his thumb and index finger slightly apart. Mom laughed at her brother's joke. Evan grinned and said hello.
Good job. Your mom tells me you want to try horseback riding, Uncle Carl said. Evan brightened up. Yeah, I do. All right, come with me. His uncle led them over to a gate, unlatched it, and let them in, closing the gate behind them. You two can wait here, Uncle Carl said. I'll go get her. Evan climbed onto the fence and sat while his uncle disappeared into the barn. A moment later, he emerged, leading a huge horse. Uncle Carl walked the horse toward Evan. The ground seemed to shake with the animals every step. The horse snorted. Evan dug his fingernails into the fence as he stared at the huge beast. Are all horses this big? He wondered. He bit his lip, staring wide-eyed at the horse. No need to worry, Uncle Carl said. She's perfectly friendly. He smiled, and when he did, he looked just like Evan's mom. Evan hopped down from the fence. Okay, he said. I'm ready. All right, have a look. Uncle Carl most likely lives on a beach, in Canada, in a busy city, or on a ranch. What do you all think?
In the barn. Busy city.
Good job. Well done, guys. So I'm not sure, I heard one answer, but I'm not sure what it said, but most of you guys said on a ranch, and you are correct. The answer is Uncle Carl lives on a ranch. A ranch is a place where people tame and look after horses. So I know that he lives on a ranch because he has horses, he's wearing cowboy boots, he's dressed as a rancher. Okay, number 2. How can you tell that Evan and his mom have not seen Uncle Carl for a while? What are some clues that help you draw the conclusion? Kaki, what do you think?
I can tell that Evan and his mom have not seen Uncle Carl for a while because the author said Mom gave the man a warm hug and she said, I'm so glad to finally see you in person again.
Good girl. Well done, Kaki. So that's one answer. Mom hugs her brother and says, I'm so happy. I'm so glad that I finally get to see you in person again. So that's a big, huge clue to let us know that they haven't seen each other in a while. Is there another clue that you can think of? Daisy?
Wow, Evan, the man said, the last time I saw you, you were about this big. He held his thumb and index finger slightly apart.
Good job. Well done, Daisy. That's another clue. That lets us know that Uncle Carl is saying, I haven't seen you since you were very little. Well done, guys. So either you could have the answer, Mom says she is glad to finally see him in person again, or you could have the answer, Evan was little the last time Uncle Carl saw him. If you had both, double thumbs up for you. Okay, write one place Uncle Carl went since the last time he saw Evan and his mom. Then write one thing he did while he was there. Tell me how you know. Duy Minh.
I think they met him in Ireland.
Good job. Well done. Uncle Carl has been to Ireland. Tell one thing that he did while he was there. Dami, do you have any ideas?
I know that because he has a Ireland shirt, and Evan's mom talk about that he is in the school in Ireland, and he is very good at building.
Good job. Well done, Dami. So basically, Uncle Carl went to Ireland. He built a school there. And how we know is that Evan's mom says the school looks good and that he's good at building. So Uncle Carl has been to Ireland. He built a school, and Eva's mom says the school looks good and that he's good at building. Another clue is that, yes, he is wearing an Ireland t shirt. So that lets us know where he went. Good job. Okay, last one. How does Uncle Carl know that Evan is nervous? So here at the last part, he said, no need to worry. Fred.
He talks while biting his lips.
Yeah, good job. So he bites his lip. Absolutely, that's a big clue. He bit his lip. So sometimes if you're scared or nervous, you might bite your lip. Another clue is that Katie, yeah, what do you think it is? What's another clue, Katie?
He stared wide-eyed at the horse.
Yeah, good job. That's another clue. He stared wide-eyed at the horse. That means his eyes are opening very wide. His eyes are really wide. He's staring at the horse like he's afraid. There's one more clue in here, and it's that Evan dug his fingernails into the fence. So he's clenching onto the fence because he's scared. He's grasping on there. So you could have any of those answers. So you could have he digs his fingers into the fences and bites his lip, or you could also have that he's staring wide-eyed at the horse. So really good job on your homework, guys. Really wonderful drawing conclusions worksheet. We read the story very well, and most of your answers on Google Drive were correct. So well done. Good job, guys. Okay. Really quickly, something I didn't get to cover in our last lesson was personification. And this is about the harvest birds. Have a look here, guys. Personification is when you give human qualities and human characteristics to an object, animal, or idea. Have a look at this example. Can you please read this for me, Jenny?
I was calling her name.
Good job. The pie was calling her name. So here we have a pie, and it's saying, Ellie. Now, this is a non-literal meaning. If someone says to you, the pie is calling my name, it doesn't literally mean that the pie has a voice and it's saying, hey, Ellie, come over here and eat me. What do you think this means? So it doesn't actually mean that the pie is talking. What do you think this might mean? Dami, what do you think?
It means that she is very hungry and she wants to eat it.
Yes, exactly. Good job, Dami. It means that Ellie is thinking about that pie. She can't stop thinking about it. And she's saying, the pie is calling my name. I'm going to have to go and have a slice of it. She's hungry for some pie. So often you might see that authors use literal and non-literal meanings in stories. The literal meaning of a word is its exact meaning. So a literal meaning means as it says. Kaki, can you read this example?
The grass is green.
Good job. This sentence has a literal meaning. The grass is green. I'm looking at the grass. It is the color green. It is a literal meaning. It means as it says. Non-literal meanings mean something different. For example, can you read this sentence for me, please? Daisy.
I am blue today.
Good job. I am blue today. Now, what does that sentence mean? Have a look at this picture to help you. If you are blue, what does that mean? Does that mean that you've gone into a paint shop and covered yourself in blue paint? Sap, what do you think?
I think it is sad.
Good job. Well done, Sap. If you are blue, you are sad. So here we have a non-literal meaning. I am blue today doesn't mean that you're wearing all blue. It doesn't mean that you're covered in blue paint. It means that you're sad. Let's have a look at the harvest birds. How did you do it? They all wanted to know. Juan smiled and answered, I did it with the help of my friends, the Zanates, the harvest birds. I learned to listen to the voice of nature. Work for me, Juan, everyone shouted. Teach me your secrets. No, answered the old man. Juan works for no one now, because I am going to give him the land that he harvested. Simon, what do you think the non-literal meaning is here in this passage?
I did it with the help of my friends, the Zans, the harvest birds. I learned it to listen to the voice of nature.
Good job, Simon. Well done. The non-literal meaning here is I learned to listen to the voice of nature. This is our non-literal meaning. Let's have a look at the next page. Here we have the trees are talking to each other. I can't believe it. It's true. The voice of nature. Now have a look at these questions. Does nature really have a voice? Can nature really talk? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Never.
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately, nature doesn't have a voice. Unfortunately, flowers and bees and trees and water, it cannot speak. It doesn't have a voice. Who can remember what it's called when an author gives something human qualities? Nancy, can you remember?
Personification.
Good girl. Well done, Nancy. Personification. So the word that I showed you right at the beginning. Can everyone say for me? Personification. Personification. Very good. Well done. So personification is what we called when an author gives human qualities and human characteristics to an object. For example, the pie was calling her name. Pies cannot call people's name. We're giving human qualities to a pie. For example, nature doesn't have a voice. We're giving human qualities to nature. Why do you guys think authors use personification? Katie, what do you think?
I think so the story would be better.
Very good. Well done. Authors use personification to make their writing better. It makes the writing more interesting. If you say, the trees whispered to each other in the nighttime, instead of saying, the trees were making noise, it makes a bigger difference and it makes it much more interesting to say, the trees were whispering to each other. So adding personification to our writing makes our writing more interesting. Okay, guys, let's have a look at our lesson today. So today we are learning about commas. We are learning about commas in a series. We use commas to separate 3 or more words in a series. For example, Jen has a pencil, comma, a book, comma, and a crayon. So it's really important for us to use commas when we're listing 3 or more words so that your reader doesn't get confused about what you're talking about. Punctuation is very, very important. Have a look here. Let's eat grandma. What? This sentence is saying that we're going to eat our grandma. This is a crazy sentence. This doesn't make any sense. However, if we look down here, when we add in our comma, let's eat grandma, this sentence means let's eat together, grandma. It's time for us to eat. So punctuation saves lives. Punctuation is super, super important, and we need to make sure that we use it correctly. Commas in a series of nouns. Have a look. Zuiming, can you read all of this for me, please?
You can list nouns in a series. A series of nouns is three or more nouns that appear together in a sentence. When you list three or more nouns, use a comma after each noun in the series, except for the last noun. My turtle eats melon, grapes, and lettuce. Turtles, fish, and frogs live in the pond.
Lovely reading. Thanks, Ming. Okay, guys, you can list nouns in a series. If you want to talk about more than one noun, you can do that by listing them in a series. When you list three or more nouns, use a comma after each noun except for the last noun. For example, my turtle eats melon, grapes, and lettuce. How many nouns can you see in this sentence? Nuna.
3.
Not quite 3. So there are 3. Good girl. Well done. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This noun is the subject. This is who the sentence is about. These nouns are a series. We're listing things that my turtle eats: melon, grapes, and lettuce. Because I'm going to list them in a series, I need to make sure I put a comma after each noun apart from the last one. So here I have melon, grapes, and lettuce. If I didn't have a comma here, let me erase this. This would be very confusing. This new sentence would say, my turtle eats melon grapes and lettuce. Now, what are melon grapes? I've never heard of a melon grape in my life. And the reason is because melon grapes don't exist. So this doesn't make any sense for the reader. That's why it's very important to make sure we add this comma in to show that my turtle can eat melon as a fruit, grapes as a fruit, and lettuce as a vegetable. Okay, let's do some practicing. Have a look at these sentences. Put commas where they are needed. This sentence, without any commas, says, Joe, David, and Javan raked the garden soil. By not having a comma between Joe and David, this seems as if Joe David is one person's name. Joe David sounds like this is one person, Joe David and Javan. But that's not what this writer is talking about. This writer is talking about 3 people. Who thinks they can draw on my screen and add in the commas where they should be? Fred, go ahead and draw on my screen. Okay, good job. Fred, we don't just need 1 comma, we actually need 2 commas in this sentence. We actually need a comma after Joe, and yes, good job, after David, to show Joe, David, and Havan raked the garden soil. Remember, our rule is when we list 3 or more nouns, use a comma after each noun in the series except for the last noun. Now here we have Joe, here's a noun, so let's put a comma. David, here's another noun, let's put a comma, and Havan. Now Havan is our last noun, so there's no need to put a comma here. Okay, number 2. The class voted on vegetables, fruit, and flowers. Now this sentence doesn't make any sense. Who can add in some commas to make it make sense? Simon, can you do that for me? Yes, good job, Simon. Perfect. Now this sentence says, the class voted on vegetables, fruit, and flowers. So please note that when we have a comma, we have to take a breath afterwards. Number 3, Esther, May, and Juana voted for daisies. So as it stands, this sentence looks like Esther May is one person. Esther May and Juana voted for daisies, but that's not what the author is trying to do. Kaki, can you please draw on my screen and put in the commas where they should be? Well done. So now we have the sentence, Esther, May, and Juana voted for the daisies. 3 different girls. Lovely, Kaki. Number 4, the class planted squash tomatoes and marigolds. Now, I've never heard of squash tomatoes in my life. That's because they don't exist. Ming Ang, can you please fix this? Good girl. So now we have the class planted squash, tomatoes, and marigolds. Last one, the carrots, spinach, and tomatoes turned out best. Now, I've never heard of carrot spinach before again, and that's because it doesn't exist. Can you please fix this for me? Let's go for Kitty. Good job. Well done, Kitty. So we have now the carrots, comma, spinach, comma, and tomatoes turned out the best. Good job, Kitty, with your giant commas. Commas in a series of verbs. So we just learned about how to write commas in a series of nouns. Now we're going to look at it in a series of verbs. A series of verbs is 3 or more verbs that appear together in a sentence. When you list 3 or more verbs, use a comma after each verb in the series except the last verb. So we have the same rule as nouns. Okay, the puppy plays, comma, sleeps, comma, and barks. So because we have 1, 2, 3 verbs here, we need to separate them so that it makes sense. We put a comma after each verb except for the last one, where we usually might have a full stop. Okay, guys, let's practice. So we know the rule. Let's do some more practicing. Number 1, the class walked, skipped, and ran outside. Now, I have never walked, skipped before because I don't think that's a real thing. I don't think you're able to walk, skip. Katie, can you go ahead and draw the commas in where they should be?
But I cannot draw.
Okay, can you tell me and I'll draw it in for you?
The class walked, common, skipped, common, and ran outside.
Lovely. Good girl, Katie. Well done. Number 2, they like the slide swings and the jungle gym. Whoa, slide swings? Never heard of a slide swing before. I've heard of a slide. I've heard of a swing. Never a slide swing. Cherry, can you go ahead and fix this sentence for me so that it makes sense? Good. Lovely. Well done. Now this sentence says, they like the slide, swings, and jungle gym. Number 3, Nuna, can you go ahead and do that one for me, please? Some children slid, comma, climbed, comma, and played on the fort. Good girl. Okay, number 4, several children dug, weeded, and watered the garden. Stella, can you please tell me where the commas should go, and I'll draw them in for you.
Several children dug, comma, weed, comma, and water the garden.
Lovely. Good job, Stella. Several children dug, weeded, and watered the garden. Perfect work, Stella. Okay, number 5. Other children watched, fed, and gave water to the birds. This doesn't make any sense. Please fix this for me, Banshee. Good girl. Now this says, other children watched, fed, and gave water to the birds. Lovely work, guys. Really good job. Okay, so when you are listing nouns and verbs in a series, if you have 3 or more, you must make sure that you punctuate correctly. You must make sure that you put a comma after every single noun or every single verb apart from the last one, so that you don't confuse your reader with things like walk, skipped, slide, swings, slid, climbed. Okay, the last thing I want to look at today before we play a game, commas in addresses. Okay, guys, commas are used to separate each part of an address as well. So in an address, these are the different parts that we have. We have the person's name, the street address, the city, and the state. So because we are learning an American syllabus, we're learning about American addresses. So imagine that you are going to write a letter to someone, or imagine that you are telling someone someone's address. You wouldn't say, Mark Samuels, 423 Palm Avenue, Miami, Florida, because there are no commas in here, and that's very confusing. So instead, we must make sure that we separate the person's name, the street address, the city, and the state. Now, looking at this example down here, Bo, what do you think this person's name is?
I think that person's name is Mark Samuels.
Good boy, well done. Here is the person's name, Mark Samuels. This is his name. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate his name from the next part. So I'm going to do that by adding in a comma. I found his name, I'm going to put the comma. Okay, next, we need to find the street address. What part of this sentence or what part of these group of words do you think is the street address? Dami.
423 Palm Avenue.
Avenue. Good job. Good job, Dami. Well done. Here we have the street address. 423 Palm Avenue is where he lives. His house number is 423 on the street that is called Palm Avenue. So let's go ahead and put a comma here to separate that. Next, I'm looking for what city does he live in? Kaki, what do you think?
Miami.
Good girl, well done. And well done to everyone answering in the chat box. Here, the city that Mark Samuels lives in is Miami. And that means that his state is Florida. So have a look here now. Now with my commas in between each of the different parts of the address, it makes a lot more sense. I know that I'm looking at Mark Samuels, who lives on 423 Palm Avenue in the city of Miami in the state of Florida. So it's really important that we are able to separate each part of the addresses. Okay, guys, so I'm dividing you into boys and girls for some quick fire questions. If I call your name, I want you to pick a number. Then what's going to come up is a sentence and it's going to have commas in it. Either you read the sentence and you say, yes, that sentence is correct, or you read the sentence and you tell me it's incorrect. If you get it right, you get 1 point for your team. Zuiming, pick a number.
2.
Okay, have a look. A dog, cat, and monkey. Is this correct?
Yes.
Let's have a look. It's correct. Well done. Swimming, you just got 5 points for your team. Well done. Okay, next, I want a girl. I'm going to have Cherry. Cherry, pick a number. 5. Okay. Okay, you just won 20 points for free. Good job. Okay, back to the boys team. Boys, over to you. Simon, pick a number.
10.
10. Okay, where's number 10? Over here? Okay, Simon, have a look at this sentence. Take your time now. Being healthy means
I will get enough sleep, eat good food, exercise, and drink lots of water.
what
It
do
is
you-
wrong.
Good. Okay, let's have a look. It's not correct. Good job, Simon.
Yay!
Well done. We should have a comma here. I will get enough sleep, comma, eat good foods, comma, exercise, comma, and drink lots of water. Good job, Simon. Okay, girls, over to you. Let's see. Mooney, pick a number, please.
9.
Number 9. Have a look, Mooney. Blueberries, bananas, strawberries, and oranges. Is this right or wrong?
Wrong.
Let's have a look. Ta-da! It's not correct. We should have blueberries, comma, bananas, strawberries, and oranges. Good job, Mooney. You just won 5 points for your team. Fred, pick a number, please.
Number 8.
Okay. Woo! Okay, Fred has just won 25 points for the boys. Well done. Okay, girls, over to you. We'll have the girls. This will be the last one. Ruby, can you please pick a number for me?
15.
Okay. Have a look. Mrs. Yoshida, Miss Tutani, and Miss Karen. Is this correct or incorrect?
It is in the correct place.
Good job. It is correct. Well done, Ruby. Okay, so that means today the boys are my winning team with 35 points. Okay, guys, for homework today. Ta-da! You have 3 pages in your reader's notebook. Okay, guys, see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.